thrown me a lot of curveballs already. You see, I've always struggled to fit in. My parents are black, but I look nothing like them. And no, I wasn't adopted. It's a bit more complicated than that. The minute I was born, my dad freaked out, ran out of the hospital, and left my mom there all alone with a newborn baby. He thought she had an affair because I didn't exactly come out the right color. But before the doctor could even explain, my dad had run off and gone to the pub to get drunk. My mom hadn't had an affair. I was definitely their child. But I was born with albinism. That's right, I am a black albino. I have long white hair, extremely pale skin, and I'm partially sighted, which basically means I'm almost blind. Oh, and obviously, my dad came back in the end. But I can't say the news of my condition was any better than thinking Mom had cheated on him. But we made it work. A lot of people in our community whispered about us, thinking that Mom and Dad had adopted a white baby. But over time, people started to understand and educate themselves on it. Things were fine until I had to go to school. No one wanted to play with me. It was horrible. I grew up in Alabama, and back then, kids mostly played with kids of their own race. On the first day, a little black girl came up to me and said, "Why is your mommy black if you are white? My mommy says there's something wrong with you." I was so upset. I hid in the bathroom and cried all during lunch break. Our teacher found me, and I told her no one wanted to be my friend, and then she did something amazing. She brought me up to the front of the class and explained to everyone what albinism was, and that bullying was not okay. She told the class that we are all unique in our own ways, and that's what makes us special. We were only 5 at the time, so it's not like anyone understood, but I will never forget that teacher because she stood up for me and made me feel normal. The older I got, though, the worse it became. My sight gradually got worse, and I had to wear special prescription sunglasses all the time. The bullying sizzled out because people realized they were being cruel, but one day a new family moved to our street. I had gone out to buy some milk for my mom, and I was walking home. I always took the same route because of my bad eyesight. Suddenly, I tripped over something, and I reached out to grab onto what I thought was a bench, but it turned out to be a car. I got a fright and jumped back, and the woman in the car turned to me and said, "Hey, ghost, get your dirty hands off my car." I apologized and started walking away. I could already feel tears coming. And then I heard the car engine start, and she slowly drove up towards me and said, "Hey, ghost, what are you doing prancing around in our neighborhood anyway, huh? You don't belong here." I just started crying and ran home and told my parents. They were so furious, and my dad said he'd go over and give her a piece of his mind. Mom stopped him and told him it wasn't worth it, and that she'd soon come and apologize. But she didn't. She never stopped calling me ghost, even when my parents threatened to call the cops, and eventually it got so bad that we actually moved to a new neighborhood. Our new neighborhood was much better, and I even met another albino friend. She was Chinese, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel so alone. I had someone who understood what it felt like to be different from your own kind. We both loved music so much, and because we were both partially sighted, we trained ourselves to play music through listening. She played guitar and I played keyboard, and one day we decided to start a band. We practiced every day after school, and then one day we felt good enough to enter the local talent show. I was so nervous about people making fun of us, but everyone loved it. We played really well, and there was even a talent scout there who said that if we worked really hard, we could even get a record contract. I couldn't believe it! Now we're working on our first album, and we hope to finish it before we graduate high school. Honestly, I feel like my life has completely transformed. I'm no longer the shy little girl bullied by everyone. Now I perform on stage, and when I'm playing the keyboard, I feel so incredibly happy. I know there will be more challenges ahead because my sight will continue to worsen. But until then, I'm going to enjoy life as much as possible and not let anyone else get me down. I've come to love being unique. And even though I don't look black, I am black. And that's my identity, and no one's